you get him or want me to get him?
Whenever you're ready.
Got him.
Nice throw, Garrett.
Right in the forehead.
Get him up here.
Come on, I'm gonna grab him. Oh, he's on that. He ain't on.
Here he is. He's on your radar.
He's an over.
Get him.
Oh, I see.
Nice throw, Tony. Brian Backcountry here. It is great to see you and welcome to Spearing Basics. In this video, we're going to cover equipment needed to spear northern pike, how to cut a hole in the ice to spear, locations to choose to spear northern pike, and how to clean northern pike. And if you like videos from the outdoors and want to learn tips and tricks to use the next time you're out hunting or fishing, subscribe and click the bell so you do not miss a thing. And the first piece of equipment we're going to talk about is an auger. And I use a StrikeMaster auger. It's got a 4-stroke Honda engine, so I don't need to use any mixed gas. And this is going to help create the hole. So I'm going to show you now how I create my spearing hole. Alright folks, so I always drill 4 holes, and that's going to be the parameter of my spearing hole, and it's in a rectangle. And now I'm gonna drill between the holes on the outside. And right now, a lot of people that spear could use like a ice spear or an ice saw, and saw between each hole, and then just take the whole block of ice out. I don't have that because I don't want to spend the money on it. So. Alright folks, next piece of equipment is a shovel, and I'm just going to clean off the face of where I want this hole to be. And if there was enough snow on the lake, I could actually bank the house, but there's really not enough out here. So the next one's a shovel. And you're going to want to chisel, because when you drill the hole around, if there's any ice that's left, you can chisel it out. And I'm actually going to use this chisel to push this big block of ice underneath. So I'm going to take my chisel, and I'm going to push this block of ice under. Just like that. Bye-bye. Oh. Alright folks, so another piece of equipment you're going to need is some sort of shelter to spear in. And I chose this clam retreat ice, and I chose this shelter because I think I bought it for 200 bucks on sale, and that's pretty cheap to me for a shelter. And look how roomy it is inside here. I mean, you can see that there's a spear hole. My brother and I are each going to spear on each side of this hole, and it's plenty spacious. And it's hard to find that on a house that comes on a sled, because you pull it over, it doesn't have the room like these hubs have. And it's really light, and you can just pull it out on a different sled when you come out spearing. So that's why I chose this hub to spear in. Alright, so I'm with my brother Brandon. Everyone say hi. Hey. He's helping me out today. Let's talk about what's next, and probably the most important piece of equipment is the spear. And as you can see, I have a 7-pronged spear. And I paid about 80 bucks for mine. They range between, you can probably get a cheap one for like 50 and then all the way up to $200, $300, $400. And I would personally recommend getting a cheap one to start out like I have, and then the more and more you spear, you know, maybe upgrade, spend a little more money on it. But so at the top of your spear, you're going to hook a rope up, and you're going to hook this rope to, I always tie off to the fish house I'm in. And a lot of guys will tie off to like their wrist or like their ankle, but I would highly recommend not doing that. Tie off to something that's not going to move, because if you throw the spear down the hole and for whatever reason, if it's tied off to you and you slip and fall in the hole, then you got the spear weighing you down too. So it's always just better to tie to something stationary like the fish house. Alright folks, you're going to want to use a fake spearing decoy as well. And this one is a homemade bush light decoy. And I made a video on how we created it. It is freaking sweet. You're going to want to check it out. I'll actually put it right up here if you want to click on it and check that fake spearing decoy. We're going to use a live big sucker as well. And here's the harness that I like to use, and if you can see right here in the center is where that sucker is going to go, and then I'm going to cinch down on the top here, down on the sucker. So let me show you here. Alright folks, so I got the harness on there, and it goes right behind those front fins, and you don't need it super tight, let it loose. So we're going to use a live spearing decoy today, so I'm going to drop this down too with the fake one, and we're going to get some pike. Let's go! Alright, so Brandon and I have both the live and the fake decoy. We're going to drop down at the same time. And one quick tip is, whenever you drop them down, just have the spear ready. Don't drop them down, look around, keep setting up. Drop them down and be ready, because a lot of times there's a pike in the area and they'll swim in right away. So we're going to drop them down, and then I'm going to shut these doors up quick. When you're done spearing, just always mark your hole. And this is one way you can do it. Just pile the slush up, put a good stick in there. The last thing you want is for someone to hit your hole before it's completely frozen over. So, like a 4-wheeler or a snowmobiler. So, yeah, just make sure you mark your hole when you're done spearing. My brother Brandon and I did spear one pike today, but it was too dark and the footage didn't turn out the greatest. But I want to talk about actually throwing the spear. And a good analogy is you should throw that spear how you would throw a dart at a dartboard. When you throw a dart, you want to use enough force to get it on that board and be accurate. And it's just like throwing a spear for pike. And you don't want to throw it too soft, because if you throw that spear too soft, you're going to risk those tines actually not going all the way through the pike, or the pike slipping off, which you don't want. And if you throw it too hard, you're risking that spear is going to swoop away from the fish. So you don't want to throw it too hard, but you want to find that happy medium where you can throw it hard enough to get those tines through, but you're still very accurate with it. Here's more footage from other days spearing, and I'll explain more in depth how to throw that spear. Check it out. As the pike swims into the hole, you're going to want to lower the tines of your spear down into the water, and do it very slow. You don't want to cause too much disturbance on top of the water, so watch. Right here, he's lowering his tines in, and that spear's a foot in the water, and then he's going to throw it. Just like that. And you want to aim right behind the head of that pike. So that's a good throw. It's a perfect throw, and we got that one. Here's another good example where I have the spear in the water probably a couple feet already, and I throw at the pike, and I was able to get this one. It was a tough shot. That pike was way underneath the ice, but what a freaking shot.
Nice shot, Brandon.
Got him, baby. Oh. That's a good one. Holy smokes.
Look at that color.
Wow. It's a pretty pike. Well, 4-pounder, huh? Brian, give me the word.
Whenever you're ready. Go.
I'm sorry, I swore, but I missed, so it's okay.
Swing and a miss for Tony. Do you have the pike on it?
Yep.
Do you got it?
Yep.
Oh, I missed him. He saw my spear.
He darted right as you went to throw it.
That was a hard shot.
It's fine. Here it comes.
Whenever you're ready, Garret.
Okay, try and get right over top. Get that spear in all the way in.
Yeah, he sees me.
No, you're fine.
Spear him,
Go
Garret.
slow, go slow.
Whenever you're ready.
Got him.
Got him. Nice toss, Garret.
That was a good shot. Don't get him.
Bring him up.
No, hey.
Get him out of the hole. Oh. Throw, Garret.
Thanks.
Good job, man. Oh. Real quick, let's talk about the location I chose to spear to set up and why. Right where this orange dot is where I chose to set my hub up. And I put it in about 11 feet. And on this lake, the weed line runs right along 10 feet. And so where my hub was, it's right where the weeds stopped and where the sand started. So it was a good transition. And these weeds stretched all the way up to the surface when you get into this 6 foot here. And they were green and very good colored weeds. And right here, it has deeper water next to right where the sand starts as well. And I think that's important because if these fish want to push deeper, they have that access right here. And another thing that made the spot so good was right here and here is all shoreline structure. And I speared this spot early in the year, and a lot of fish are going to relate to that shoreline structure. So that's why I did so well in this spot. Hey folks, next we're going to show how to clean a northern pike. They're really not too difficult. And do me a favor, and in the comment section below, what is your favorite fake spearing decoy color or color pattern that has worked best for you?
Alright, hello everyone. I'm Vinny. I'm going to be cleaning this northern because apparently I'm good at doing it. So first thing you want to do, no matter what, you got to have a good knife. You cannot do this with a crappy knife, especially when you get to the Y-boning part later. This one's made by Cutco. It extends. Very nice. I always start on the back of this fish. I start right here and I cut down right behind the gill plate. Some guys will start and cut a line here. I do not do that, and you'll see why I don't do that. Northerns can be a little slimy, so always make sure you got a nice grip. Once I get to about here on our fish, I take my knife and make sure I don't cut through the spine and go right through on the other side. Always keep your knife running right along the spine, right down to the end. Now, just like any fish, you keep, see now this is all wide open. Here's your backbone. Just keep that knife nice and tight to that spine as close as you can. Right here is the only kind of hard part. You got to bust through those pin bones. Once you do that, you can feel the rib cage and just follow that right down. And there is going to be all your gut sack. Now again, some guys will take this fillet off right now. I don't know why I don't, but I just flip it right back over and do the exact same thing to the other side. So we're going to go right behind the gill plate, right down here, follow that spine as close as you can. Knock them scales off. Again, we get right here, go straight across, and then just follow that spine right down.
So you're doing it just how you would do any other fish?
Just like any other fish.
It's like if you were to do a walleye, a panfish.
Yeah, the only thing you gotta do special with northern is getting them Y bones out.
Okay.
Now once I get here, I take that knife and I cut straight down. Oops. And this, I do this because then, whoops. Boys, you get that body out of the way. Grab some paper towels.
Oh, so it comes off as one big fillet.
Yep.
Okay.
Northerns are really slimy, so I like to keep everything relatively cleaned up, especially for this next part. So now, once it's opened up, you can see everything that's happening here. Take your knife, and right there. Now there's your two perfect fillets. There's these two fins. They're not going to be good for anything. So you want to take those off while saving as much meat as you can. Here is the next easy part. We're going to skin these things. Pretty easy to do. I always just use a fork. This is the nice part about this knife.
It extends out.
I can extend this thing out.
Nice.
Now, just keep pulling. When you get to these bigger northerns, this part can get kind of tricky. Just do what you gotta do if you gotta put your fork farther up.
Yeah, so you're holding the skin with your fork.
Yep.
Sliding your knife down the skin just to get the meat out.
Right there's just a chunk of fin.
Okay.
And voila. Just like that. You have the skin off that pike. Now, I don't know if you can see or hear this, but see these white things right here? Those are your Y bones. That's the main thing that people don't like about a northern. They're bony, they call them fishy, but they're not.
Yeah.
So,
This is to debone the Y.
it's easier to do the bigger the northern.
Yeah.
This is a perfect size.
Okay.
You take your knife and you cut right along the top. And once you get down in there, you can start to feel them.
Okay, so you're okay.
You can literally feel them. And those bones go up.
Okay.
That's why they're called a Y. You just slowly start angling that knife up. And see, you can hear, you're just getting to the tail end of them bones. And once you get down here, like anything past here, there is no more. So you can just kind of nip that off. That piece of fish right there has no Y bones in it at all. So now, your Y bones are still in here, but this is where it gets easy. You take your center line of your fish, you take your knife and you run it at an angle. Just like that. And again, they're not back here. So now, I mean, if you could feel this, you can feel the bones are in here. So you know they're not in the fish anymore. So this, when you fillet northern, and I mean, you'll get better and better. This is only my first couple fish of the season, but this is all you have that waste.
Nice.
And then the rest of this is all good, clean fillet with no bones, no nothing.
That's
How
awesome.
you do it.
That's sweet. Okay.
DUN done.
Done.